its features and support. As you know, we have used the LMS twice, but on a small scale, and I feel like we have learned a lot about how to make this successful at scale. Could not have done this without Charles Nicholson and Erica's support. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce Erica's last name, but they have really been working with us closely on making this launch and successful. And so we're really excited, but again, what we haven't done at scale that is a concern really is around the support issues. When we've done pilots, we've got just a handful of issues that we feel like we've been proactive to correct around communication. But as you know, as much as we communicate, oftentimes that doesn't land. So Charles is going to help us to understand the types of issues that we might encounter to show us how to resolve those issues. And then from there, I'm going to really determine, based on the level of complexity of the work and your workload, especially as team training launches, like what's our best path forward for making sure that folks are taken care of in a timely manner. So with that, I will, Courtney, do you have any kind of logistical comments that you need to share before we get started?
Not yet. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Charles, take it away.
Hello. I don't see me anymore, so hopefully you're seeing me. Probably not. But anyways, so I was asked to walk you all through the basics of the LMS and some of the troubleshooting issues that you will see as we're doing this. And so that's just a lot easier to do if I pull the LMS up and share it on my screen. So that's what you'll see. And so that's what I'll be doing. I think it's probably best if we wait until the end if there are any questions. So with that, I'm just going to show this. You should be seeing the LMS now on your screen.
Is everyone seeing the LMS right now?
The lockers, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Audio.
The host has been muted.
Are they saying I'm muted?
Mm-hmm.
I have to put up one finger. Let me know. Okay, they say we're fine.
All right.
So the first thing I wanted to explain is that we're using this for several thousand people at this point, and because of that, we're using a bit of a different formation of systems. We will not be just using one site; we'll be using 3. So I want to make that part. That's going to make some of this a little bit confusing, but it also will guarantee that we will have no issues in terms of crashes. We can be certain that everything will be fine. Erica and I already have a list of districts, or we will enroll people into the LMS based on district, and we already have that list made, and we'll enroll them based on a list that was created by the assessment team, because that means that they're already set up in the system where they need to be. So we're going to take care of the initial enrollment, and we'll share that list with all of you all whenever the time comes. The addresses for the 3 sites are exactly the same as what you see in the bar at the top. It's openedx.tneducation.net, except the 2 other variations are -east, and then there's a -west version. And again, we will share all of this with you. Now, this was not we didn't come up with this nomenclature, the IT team did. But to add to confusion a little bit, just because a district is in the east does not necessarily mean that it will be in the east server. It was based on a distribution that balanced load as opposed to geographical area. So I'm sorry about that. I will apologize up front for that. So that, like I said, we are going to do the initial enrollment based on that list. We'll share that list with you. The first issue that you will most often come up against is someone will log in and there just will not be a course. The course will not show up. Now, that probably means that they're using the wrong email address. They're not using the email address that we have in the system. So that would be the first thing to ask them is, did you log in using the email that is in, what's the portal called?
TN-Compass.
Thank you, Erica. TN-Compass. If they're not, they need to create a new account, or we can change their email address in the system so that they will then have a course. But please, that's the very first thing. Now,
so let me ask you, are we saying we want them to use the TN-Compass email address, or we're going to allow them to change from what we give you?
We want them to use the TN-Compass email address. We very much want them to use the TN-Compass email address. Now, on your screen, you'll see, don't worry about this. You won't see anything like this at all. These are all the courses. I'm just going to one that makes a lot of sense. So this is the one that we ran in January that's very similar to what we're running now. Let's say that you get somebody who they weren't enrolled into a course, somehow or another they were missed, something like that. You can quickly and easily enroll them by
There's no...
I'm sorry?
Okay.
You can quickly and easily enroll someone by checking the list and figuring out which server to enroll them on. You then go to the course, and you click on this tab right here that says Instructor. Click on that, and then you go to the membership link, and you simply paste their email address here, type in the word enrollment here, and then click the Enroll button. It takes care of it, so just so you can see TDOE LMS 5000 at example.com. Enrollment, enroll. And now those people you can see right here, they are in the course. So if for some reason the course just does not show up whenever they go to log in, which will be probably the problem we run into the most at the beginning, that's how you fix it if they are using the correct email address. If they're not using the correct email address, we have a couple of options. We can fix that email address, or we can just have them create a new account using that email address. And I can show you how to, I'll show you how to do both of those things.
So will we have to go between the three sites to figure out where they're supposed to be logging in, or?
They'll just have to look at the list of districts and look, find which district they are, and it'll tell you which server they're supposed to be on.
That's all. Yeah, that's how we do it.
We'll have a pre-assigned list of where you put.
We absolutely will give you that.
Got it. Okay.
And we have that. We'll try to email it out after we leave so that everybody has that. You can see.
So you do the same districts no matter what?
Yes.
Is that what you're
part of the
no matter what the course is, you've already assigned the district.
Yep.
To ensure the list.
So if they took the assessment course,
they're already assigned to it.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yep, and that's it. We will. Yep, and we will share that info. Sorry, we'll share that information as soon as we're done here. So that's going to be a lot of the beginning issues. We see that all the time, and we find that that's pretty easy to correct. It's a matter of seconds, not hours, to fix. In fact, none of this is really that. So the next thing I want to talk about, and let me show you the course. And I said, this is similar, what you're seeing on the screen here is similar to what this will look like whenever we get to the course itself. each one of these sections has a set of rules that have to be followed in order to pass on. You all actually know this, you've seen this. And so whenever someone clicks here, there's a video of a class that they watch, and then they rate it based on, you can see here's the standards and objectives, motivating students, presenting instructional content. They put in the ratings as if they were in a classroom. They have to click submit after each one, so that's sometimes the problem, is that people don't submit their answers. So that could be a troubleshooting thing that could come up. And then they click next. And if everything is right, they will get to the average scores. Now, one of the things that we've had to come up with a workaround with the LMS is it doesn't have a way to average the scores from the first section into the second section, so they have to do that themselves. Now, we give them a lot of warning and indication about that. It's in the instructions. We put it here. We put it on the previous page. It's not hard to go back to the previous page and get those numbers, but just know that they have to do that. They put that score in here. On this page, they only get 2 opportunities to get the score right. If they get it wrong and they go to the next page, well, if they get it right, it says, congratulations, you can proceed. If they get it wrong, they're told that they need to go back to the first section, check their scores, and then re-average. Now, this section, they only have 2 opportunities to do it, but when we had this conversation with Renee, she wanted people to have the, whoa.
Okay.
The chair went out for me.
I know.
This is a great webinar. Renee wanted people to have the opportunity to have a second chance. So if people have used up both of their opportunities, they will not be able to proceed. They may email you and ask you to fix that. Again, this is very easy to do. So there are a couple of ways to do it, and I'll show you them all. But the simplest way to do it for this section, for the average score section, is to click on this button, and you'll have this button that says Staff Debug Info. You click on it, and you put in their username. Now, I'll show you how to get the usernames in a minute because that's a wholly different process, but just know you need a username. So here, I can type in Erica, and then I can reset her learner attempts to 0 by clicking Reset Learner Attempts to 0. Now, it's very important that we use the correct username here. Extremely important. Because if you reset somebody else's scores because you don't have the right username, then they will not have their scores and have to do it again. So please make sure you use the correct username here.
How do you know what the username is?
I'll show that it's a different part because we talked about some real rules around usernames.
Great.
But that's how you do it. You go here, you reset the learner attempt to 0. Another way that you can do that is you can go up here where it says view this course as, and you can view it as a specific learner. Now here you can type in their username or their email. So for example, renee.diamond@tn.gov. That brings up, now you can see right here it says I'm viewing this course as Renee. I can see Renee's score here. I can go to the staff debug, and you see now Renee's username is the one in there. If all you have is an email address, that is the much easier way to do it. If you have an email address, you can just go up to the part that says view the course as a specific learner, put in that email address, and it brings you to the page. And then you can simply reset hers to 0. So Renee no longer has a certificate from the first time this course went live, but you can see now she has 0 of 2 attempts. She can do her attempts again.
So how often are we resetting this past 2 attempts?
We're giving them 1 opportunity. So they
get 3 attempts.
basically.
Oh, So they get to do it.
Yeah, they get another shot at it, yeah. On this average section. So there is that.
But only reset their answers once.
Yes, don't reset their answers more than once, and that's from Renee, not Charles.
So after they go 2 of 2, we reset it and give them 2 more chances.
Yes.
And so of the 126 people that did this in the January, how many times did we reset?
I think 5.
5 of the 126?
Mm-hmm. Not a lot. We actually reset more, I think, for the next section than we did this section.
Yeah, and sometimes it was because they thought that their answer was like rounded incorrectly, and so then they submitted it again, and then that counted as a second incorrect answer. And
which we hope to alleviate this time through clearer instructions. We hope so they would have like 3.56, and they didn't know if they were typing 3.56 or 3.6. They didn't understand that, and so they ran out of both attempts. Mm-hmm. And so we fixed that for them pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. So that was something we came across a lot. So let's look at this last section. This is the general knowledge section. Now, for the general knowledge section, these questions are drawn at random. They don't have, so I think for this course, there were 54 questions, and they see 8 of them that are randomly drawn. So the order is different for everybody, but you can, again, look at this as the specific learner. So, yeah, I did that right. Which will let you see how Renee did. So again, she missed this one. So if you look and it says you have used 2 of 2 attempts, we would need to reset this. We do it exactly the same way that we were doing it before. You go to the staff debug and you override her attempts to 0. And then when she refreshes, her attempts have been reset. Now,
and so they will contact us to reset individual questions, or they go through the entire multiple choice, and then they get another chance?
How many did they get to miss? 2. So if they miss 3 in this section, they need to email us. Yeah, they can't go any further. They will be completely locked. They can sit there and click buttons all day, but they can't get a certificate. They can't pass. That's when they will email us. And what you'll see is on the next page. Nope, it says they completed the course. If they don't get the answer and they click to the next page, it says you have not passed. You need to, if this is the second time you've seen this, you need to email, and we'll put whatever email address needs to go on there. I don't know what it'll be.
And so essentially, there have been 2 attempts at each section, and this is what felt like 2 attempts for each section, especially where the multiple choice was concerned, because if they miss 2 questions, they miss that module, they miss that section. And so we reset it to give them the opportunity to have that section again. So that's the reason.
Attempts or 4 attempts, though, because they get to answer each question twice.
That's something.
And then you reset it again, and they get 2 more. So it sounds like 4.
The initial 2 attempts was a way to cover for the fact that they got to do it. They had 2 attempts in the past. Mm-hmm. But since this doesn't work like NIET, we use those 2 attempts. Well, that was confusing to people, and so now we've said that we will reset it. We can lower the number of attempts to 1. If that's what you feel like is a better way,
But they have to do each section separately.
Yeah, and
if they ask for a reset, we're going to reset all the questions.
Well,
versus at the individual question level.
Well,
I think that's what I'm trying to.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that is so this doesn't function as a comprehensive test where you have to. So we have to go in and reset 2 questions, like the number of questions they missed. Yes, we would.
So if they miss 3 questions and they email us to reset, and then we go in here and reset those 3 questions, when it comes up for them again, the other 5 will still be correct, and it just says empty 3 that they missed twice.
Correct.
Which means they could theoretically try all 4 answers.
Yeah, that's just.
Right, they get 4, try.
Yeah, I'm happy to change this. This is not.
Oh, no, it's not on you. This is us understanding certification for the first time.
Yeah, no, this is perfectly fine changing that. So, those are the major issues on that. So, last time we had several people who missed questions in this last section and emailed us about it, and we did reset some of those. The more interesting misses were in the average portion of the exam, where people, for example, what Erica was saying, they would get 3.56, they would put that in, and then they would put in 3.6 when they missed it, and they would run out of attempts immediately. We're going to clarify a lot of instructions on this part. We're going to do a lot
I
of
already added instructions around to near 10th of a point.
Yeah, we're going to do a lot with that. We're going to do a lot with communications. We're going to make sure that they understand. Hopefully, that will eliminate a lot of those issues. For the few people that it does not, we will have other options to, we have the ability to reset. And again, these number of attempts can be changed. That's something for your team to decide, not be there. Can I just follow instructions? Okay, so now let's talk about a few other issues that will come up as time goes on. These are usernames. These are kind of weird things that'll pop up. So, for example, if someone emails you and they say, is that still the same? Okay, that's the new screen. Okay. If they email you and they say, I typed in the wrong email address, or I misspelled my name, something that we've had multiple times, you can fix that. That's not a problem. We're going to set that up so you can do that. You're going to go to the admin site, which is just the URL for the LMS. So in this case, openedx.teeneducation.net/admin. It looks like this. It's extremely boring. In this case, you're going to type in the username, not your email. So I'm going to show you one that is set up the way you'll see it, TUL7. Very important that you use a password that is at least somewhat secure, because if anyone got a hold of your credentials, they could go in and erase or change users very easily. So please, please, please make sure that your password is at least somewhat strong. That would be great. So you're going to get a page that looks like this. You will only have access to the users portion. You only have access to this part. If you click on the users, you will have access to every user on the server. You can search for people in this bar in a lot of ways. So if I wanted to find Erica, I could just type in Erica. And here's every single person that has Erica spelled with a K, like Erica. This Erica is the one I'm looking for. Now on this page, I can do a couple of things. I can fix our email address right here by typing in the correct email address. So say Erica had put in .tns.gov. I could simply delete the S. Now she has the correct email address, and everything should be fixed. You have to save it. You go down to the bottom, and you click Save. The other thing you can do here, well, there are two other things. One, you can find the username. We were talking about that. It's right here at the very top of the page. It says username. There's Erica's username. It is just Erica. She was the second person on the system, so she got her name. There's Erica's username. Usernames cannot be changed. There are a few counties that ask that their users use very specific number letter combinations at the beginning. If they do incorrectly, they have to make a new account because usernames cannot be changed. Tell them it's okay. The username is used for nothing. And that's it.
Can you have multiple accounts with the same email address?
That's exactly what I was saying. Don't tell them, just don't worry about it. If they need, send them to me in that case, and Eric and I will explain to them that we can't fix it, it's okay, your username is used for nothing in the system. If I could figure out a way to deactivate it, I would, but it goes into a database, so I can't take it out. Eric and I are the only two people that can delete accounts if they're persistent, though. So it would be best if it came up so that if we just had to give in, we could delete the account. No one else has haven't had those abilities.
Yeah, but then if they've already started, they would have to start over.
Exactly. So the best thing to do is just to tell them, usernames don't matter. Please just continue. No one's ever going to find out. So the other thing you can do here is if someone forgets their password, this is the page where it can be changed. It is not convenient, or it's not highly noticeable, let me say that. So it says password, and then it's got a bunch of letters and algorithms and stars. You go to this little link right here. Mm-hmm. You click on it, and it brings up the page to put in the new password. Now, when we're changing a user's password, we often go with let me in one with a capital L. They can then change it on their own once they log in. Mm-hmm. But that's the password that we generally use and the password that we generally share, just so you know. And for a normal user, I'm less worried about the security than for you all, because, like I said, you all will have access to this page where you can go in and mess with it. Now, the one other weird question you might get an email about is someone will tell you that they are locked out. This happens whenever they enter the wrong username password combination 5 times. Mm-hmm. We do not have an unlock built into the system. It's a time block, which is there for security. It is there to protect the user. If they email you and they say, I am locked out, what we do is we change their password in this form right here, and then we email them and tell them your account, we changed your password, so let me in one. Your account will unlock 20 minutes after the last unsuccessful attempt. So what I try to do there is tell them, I say, this email is coming to you at 1:32, 20 minutes from now, your account should be unlocked. If they try to log in the second they get the password, the timer resets. And so it can become a perpetual cycle. So we have to be very, 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 very vigilant in telling them, you must wait until it is time to unlock.
Do you have some email templates that you can share with us on some of these things, or?
Yeah, we have stuff that we normally send out. We can, yeah, absolutely.
Just start from scratch. No.
We have stuff we'll send over, no problem. We have a ton of these. So we have figured it out eventually. And so those are the big things you're going to have questions about. We really got most of them. Let me give you a few warnings. Let's say a few things. Inside of this screen right here, on this admin page, which you will have access to, please be careful what you are changing in there. If you go in here and you go to this person whose name is -3 teaching 2, and you go down here and you change, you delete a letter, and you don't remember what it's supposed to be, don't save, just go back up to the top and back out. And nothing changed. Be very, very careful. Don't mess with any of these API things or any of these user permissions. Please leave it all alone. For the most part, no one would figure out what you have done. They would never figure out that they could go in and blow parts of this up. But it's great if you didn't touch it. I would really appreciate it.
What do those little X's mean next to the user list? X versus a green check on that name?
On the slide. I think that's their staff.
Yeah, so staff status. If they've got a red X, they can't get to this page, is what that means.
Yeah, so
you were green because you had access.
Don't give anybody staff status, and definitely do not give anybody super user status.
Yeah, so these people, you see here's the list of people that have staff access. And all of you,
the admin site.
And all of your names will have checks next to them as well. So those are all the major things that I wanted to hit on. There is one more thing I wanted to show you. Yes, ma'am.
So, given you just had your biggest test in March,
Yeah.
how many questions per day were you fielding with that group?
Assessment was fielding.
They were, but they were not talking about getting a large number. I'm sure they did get several, but considering that we did 25,000 people, we never had a deluge. We maybe got, between Eric and I, 10, 12 questions a week from them that they couldn't resolve. But it wasn't.
So they had the same access to answer these types of questions?
They actually had less. We
Less
are
access.
Yeah, we're working on giving you all more. Like
Okay.
we want to make sure that you all can do more to help people quickly. Like, and again, we're here, so we'll help anybody. Like, no problem. But no. For some people, emails are going to come to you first. If they got to come to you, then come to me or Erica. That's just more time. We thought we could give you more access because this worked with assessment. With the little access or more access, I think it'd probably be better.
And so what were the types of issues that they had?
Passwords were a lot of
Users
it.
and passwords, email address?
Going to the wrong
login
URL.
That's a big one.
Okay, so the first two,
Yep.
no. The number one, the course wasn't available,
Uh-huh.
or the username, password situation.
Yep, and going to the east, west, or
Right.
they weren't going the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was primarily it.
Login didn't work because they weren't in the right
Have a
thing.
course.
Yeah, those were almost entirely the issues that we had.
And their questions that they had to take were all multiple choice.
Mm-hmm.
They had,
Right, so not score, not a required cut.
yeah, so they didn't have to deal with like resetting people's attempts and stuff like that.
There are a few things that you all will have to be a little bit different. For the most part, it's not a big deal. Like, it's going to be something you can handle. The last thing I was going to show you is this. This is the support site. Again, it's openedx.tneducation.net/support. Rare question is somebody emails you and says, I can't get to my certificate. They say, I don't know how to do that. You, as a staff member, can go to this page and get to their certificate for them. Now, most people figure this out, and usually when they can't get to their certificate, it's because they can't remember their password. So it's just as easy to just reset their password. But do know that this is an available option. For this, you need their username or email, and you need a course ID. So let me show you what the course ID is. Pull that up. Team Teacher Observer. So on this page, at the top where the link is, where the URL is, you see where it says /courses, and then it says course-v1:. That course-v1:, all the way down to the next slash. That's the course number. Copy that, and you put that into here, and then Renee. Let's see if Renee got a certificate from her own course.
That's not.
No, it's underscore.
Yeah.
Her username was underscore.
Is it case sensitive?
It is not.
Okay.
So you can see here, Renee did get a certificate, and you know she got a certificate because there's a download URL right here. You click on that, and it brings up Renee's certificate. You can simply go and print it as a PDF and email it to her. And that is the whole thing.
And these are always backdated to whenever they actually completed it. It doesn't reset every time we
Correct.
do this process.
You can see Renee got hers on January 25th.
Mhm.
Now, if you do, so don't, but if you do click the regenerate button right there, Renee's certificate would have
A new date.
a new date. Yep.
Oh, okay.
But as long
We
as you
recommend just clicking the link, sending them the link, and being done with it.
Yeah.
click the link, print it as a PDF, and send it to them.
If it shows that
Got
they don't have a certificate, that means they probably didn't actually pass.
Yeah,
And so you should go back and look at their questions and see which ones they answered wrong to figure out why they didn't pass.
Exactly.
print the PDF, where are you clicking to print the PDF?
Yeah, you just go to, you actually just go to the file. So here you go to the three dots, you click print, and then you select Microsoft Print to PDF. And when you click print, it'll say, ask you where you want to save it. And so Renee Cert, and that's it. It's all done. Now it's on my desktop.
Could I just send them that URL and say, click?
No.
They have to be able to log
Password
in.
protected.
Got
So
it. The
if
only
they're-
I could give it to them if they couldn't find it.
Exactly.
What about on that previous page where it said downloads? Can you download from that spot?
The download opens this up. It opens this. It's not going to download. It may download as an HTML file. Let's see. Actually, I've never done it that way. It does. It saves it as an HTML file. So still something you have to send to them, but it will. Oh no, it doesn't open with all the stuff.
Nope.
So it'd be better if you print it as PDF.
So there's no save as, it's print as PDF,
Mm-hmm.
email it to person.
Yep.
Do not press regenerate.
Do not, because it gets a weird date. You shouldn't have to do this, though. This is a weird, like, last resort kind of, you can't do
You
that.
just said, the other option is reset their password and let them go back
Yep.
in and find it.
Much easier to do it that way. I just, if for some reason that doesn't work or they can't do it, you get Gregory who just cannot figure it out, you just do it for them. But most people, you just reset their password.
Or tell them which questions they need to go back and fix because they haven't actually
Because
passed.
it wasn't there.
Yeah, yeah, or that.
Provided that they pass.
Exactly.
If user actually passed, got it.
So those are all the issues that I think you'll see. If you get anything stranger than that, if you get anything super weird, please email us, like immediately. We will fix that or figure out what's going on. Things like that. We've had some weird ones, and if you're not comfortable fixing some of these things and you would like for us to help or you want us to walk you through it individually or whatever, call or email us. We'll do that. That's not a problem. I just want to make sure that that these are the basics, that if you can do these, you can answer, I'd say 99%. You're not going to be able to answer the person who had a shared email account and emailed us and said they had been hacked, but it was the husband emailing because the wife had used their shared account. So for the most part, it should be fine.
And Courtney and I will send some of you, I'm sure we'll send you a kind of a summary of today's call with the instructions, but we'll also reach out to you guys and troubleshoot, have some issues, and get you to help us correct those before we get started on the 15th, just to make sure that you're feeling comfortable, and talk to you about the types of support issues we expect you to address and which ones you need to elevate to us.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to ask a couple of questions. There was one that Valerie asked about the video. So if I watch the video and then I assign the scores, and I miss the requisite number, so I end up failing the video section. Mm-hmm. Even before, let's say, the averaging. Let's just say I failed based on the numbers that I inputted. Will they have the option to, will they be able to have to watch the video again? Are they assigned a new video? How does that work?
No, it's just a YouTube video that they can watch as much or little of as they want, pause, skip around as necessary, just like you would with any other YouTube video. They will not be assigned a second video because there's no way for us to only assign a second video to like people who fail the first video, as far as I know.
Yeah, the only option would be to enroll them in a brand new course with a different video.
Okay. And so if they fail there, at that point, before they even do the averaging. We could expect them to say, hey, I attempted and I failed, and, having to figure out that they didn't actually get to the averaging part and reset that whole section. Like, do you reset those separately, or is that the same reset, Charles?
Well, so what we did the last time and what we talked about this time was on that section, they actually, they kind of get as many chances as they need on that section, so that they can get, the average is where we lock them out for the first time, not that first part.
Gotcha.
So they don't know that they have unlimited chances there, but they do. But we didn't have, that was the section that we had 0 issues with the first time.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I guess my second question, and just help me understand with the multiple choice, because Erica made a comment they could theoretically miss all four. So if they miss all 4 on a particular question, or if they're able to, then they could not miss anything else, right? Because that would put them over the limit. So let's just say, for instance, I'm taking question 1, and I missed question 1 the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I select a second answer, and I miss it the second time. I'm locked out at that point, and I need to do a reset. That's right?
Not necessarily. If you got all the other questions right, you wouldn't need to do a reset.
Okay, gotcha. So those would be my 2. If I missed one more and then I had another, like I had to reset, so then I missed that one. So I could theoretically not get the answer number 1 correct at all. It would be like a miss and a miss.
Yeah, if you missed 1 and 2, but you got all the others correct, you would not have to get a reset because you would have passed.
No, I'm saying if I miss number 1 twice, I miss it, and then I miss it again, and then I don't miss anything else, I pass, correct?
You could also miss number 2 twice. It doesn't matter how many times you miss.
I gotcha.
If this counts as a miss.
Gotcha. It's question level, not miss level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got
So you could answer question 1 incorrectly twice and answer question 2 incorrectly twice.
Now,
And answer the other questions correctly, and you would pass.
we can change that, though, if you want
It doesn't need to be set up that way.
Yeah, we can set it to where they only get 1 chance before we have to reset. Like, we had it set to 2 for the reasons that they had 2 opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
We can adjust that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a decision that you just need to tell us how you want to do it.
Yeah. Well, I know with
Can you go through all 8,
Mm-hmm.
calculate, and then reset all, or do you have to set it at the individual question level? Is that what we're talking about?
No.
That's the number of attempts for each question individually, but that would probably be.
Isn't it individually now?
No, okay, so we can go with Erica, no.
She's telling us something different.
Yeah, she's
on a new
she's
level.
playing at level 12. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So, no, Renee is asking, they can miss 1 twice and they can miss 2 twice. That's all they missed. We'd never have to reset anything.
Mm-hmm.
They would pass because you have 6 out of 8. But if they missed 1 twice, 2 twice, and then 3 twice, then and they have to.
Well, they'd be able to go through and take the whole quiz. They won't find out if they failed until they've finished all 8
And go to the
and try to
next
go to the next page. Then they'll find out if they passed or failed, but they won't know which ones they answered correctly and which ones they answered incorrectly, because that information is hidden.
Oh, they don't get that little.
No, they can do the general knowledge.
They do.
On the general knowledge.
Yeah, they get the
On the
little
general knowledge, they do.
immediately.
Yeah, on the general knowledge is the only way they get that immediately. Everything else is hidden. So in that case, if they missed the 3, they would email us and we'd reset it. Now,
We reset only the ones that.
yeah, we reset the ones they missed. Now, we can, like I said, we can make that legitimately where they only get 2 shots at the answer by lowering the number of attempts to 1.
I think that sounds, because, I mean, in the past, what we've had is if you miss 6 out of 8, you fail that section. And so you get another chance. But this really is missing, like we said earlier, this really is missing 4. So what we would really want is if you miss number 1, that counts as a miss. You don't get another. You can see what the answer would have been. You can get feedback, but you don't get the opportunity to redo it.
That's fine. We can set that. That's no problem. Or we can set
So how would it work? I still am not tracking as to what we're proposing versus what it is now.
So now we're suggesting that if they get an answer wrong, the only way for them to attempt it again is to ask us to reset it. They don't get to try again.
No. After they complete all 8, that is reset?
No, we're talking about lowering the number of attempts from 2 to 1 each time. So they would go through, they would answer them. If they still got 6 out of 8 correct, they're fine. But say that they got 5 out of 8, they're going to have to email us, and we're going to have to reset the 3.
So I think that would result in way more email traffic. Is that what you're proposing, Renee?
Well, I mean, I think that might cause more email traffic, but I think it would be clearer. I think that would make more sense to them. Is I missed one, doggone, I can't miss it again. That's more in the spirit of what it's been in the past.
I agree. It sounds more rigorous. That's the latter, because the first way sounds like.
Well, if you keep track of your answers, the first way, you would be able to pass no matter what.
Yeah,
because if you try A, then you try B, okay, I need to reset, then try C, and then try D, you've got them all.
So, but as far as learning goes, they still learn it. I mean, you would still know it. You might write it down, but if you've looked at that question 4 times and looked at the answer, then, I mean, it still is something that you understand and know. One could argue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like a gotcha. It's like, okay, I got it. I know what this is now. I've got it circled because I've written it down.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So
I agree with Courtney's overall thought. Like, I completely agree with what she just said. But to go back to what we were talking about, though, the 2 attempts metaphor was just a way for us to give them 2 shots, like the original idea. It had nothing at all to do with wanting to give them 2 chances. If we're going to do the thing where we reset it for them, then lowering it down to 1 makes perfect sense to me.
It's just a more.
And I guess what I was wondering is it always a reset if can you go through the 6 of 8 and it automatically resets, or is it always a manual retry? Is there any logic that says if it's anything below 6 of 8 that it automatically happens?
No,
we can't. So the only way that we can make it automatic is if we give them multiple attempts, but we've decided that we're not going to do that and we're going to require a manual reset.
This is why we went with the 2 attempts instead of the resetting it for them. But
so the way that Renee has proposed to do it is a more labor-intensive way to give them 2 attempts, but it's apparently a way that will be less confusing to them because it's more similar to what they did before.
So, I mean, again, we're going to do whatever you all tell us to do. We don't have a problem either way.
Is there a world in which when you reset, so they do their 2 attempts like it's set up now, but then when we go in the background and reset it for them, then they only have 1 more chance? Does it have to be like,
the whole,
okay.
No, I actually just checked that to be sure that I wasn't crazy. I did.
I don't know that I heard the answer to that, Charles. If someone calls and says, oh, I failed, I need to have this reset, there's no way to cap it out at 2. Like, there's no way to say.
Well, if we set it to 1 attempt, then when we reset, they will have 1 more attempt.
Yeah.
But if we set it at 2 attempts, then when we reset, they will have 2 more attempts.
There's no way to do a 2 and a 1.
No.
Right.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
Or either where they take a quiz that has 8 questions and they don't pass, then they have to have it reset, and so they get 8 randomized different set of questions from the test bank.
Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to do that either.
No.
Nope, would love to do that way too.
Okay.
Well, we can discuss internally if we think, like, which option we think is better, and just kind of let the coaches know where we've landed on that.
Yeah.
And I think
Charles, go ahead.
Charles said that this morning. You mentioned that this would be ready by May 1st, so that the coaches could try it on their own and work through it, and then potentially have some follow-up questions. Is that?
That is what we would like. I mean, yeah, if we can get everything, we could definitely have 1 for sure ready. Like the math one could be turned around very, very quickly at this point. The other 2, we don't have the content yet, but as soon as we have it, Erica's about to tell me it's 3.
Yes, it is 3.
Anyways, as soon as we have that, we can turn those around very quickly as well, I think.
Okay.
But we can definitely have the math ready by the 1st.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Well, Charles, thank you so much. Coaches, thanks for being on the call. We'll definitely get you a synopsis of these steps and kind of tell you next steps about what we'll elevate, what we'll ask you guys to handle, and a final decision on the number of attempts.
And like I said, if any of you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I know this isn't necessarily the most conducive environment to learn this in, so we'd be happy to talk more with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.